Hello again. Seems like it's gonna be a busy week for the Bottomless Pit. So here I am once again catching up with yet another 2023 film, this time Perfect Days, which is actually nominated at the Oscars for Best International Film from Japan, and it's actually setting a record for being the first Japanese film not directed by a Japanese person. Yes, it is directed by the legendary German filmmaker Wim Wenders, which admittedly I haven't watched any of his films as far as I can tell. I know he's received 3 Oscar nominations for making documentary films, such as the Buena Vista Social Club, Pina, and The Salt of the Earth. But from what I can tell, he's best known for his drama films such as Paris, Texas, and Wings of Desire. 2 films which I've heard so much about, but I have yet to see them, so clearly I have homework to do, especially after watching this lovely, contemplative film. It really was an interesting experience. I had no idea what I was getting into. In essence, Koji Yakusho gives a wonderful performance as this very humble Japanese man who lives his professional life cleaning toilets. And even though at first glance it seems as this is as low as you can go, professionally speaking, he seems completely content in this lifestyle, even though there's some people that just totally look past him as if he doesn't exist, not even worth giving any attention. He doesn't take any offense whatsoever, and he manages to find beauty in the simple task of doing his job as best as he can. You can tell that he's super meticulous in his work ethic, and it's actually quite lovely seeing this look of complete zen happiness that he has in every moment of his life, whether it's looking outside and seeing the sky, the sunlight first thing in the morning, or just sharing a calm moment in a park, eating a sandwich and looking at how the sun just passes through the trees. It really is a very zen, contemplative, and existential kind of exploration of mankind. And I really do like this idea of finding God, if you will, in even something as low as cleaning toilets. It really is an interesting perspective, and I think that rewatching this film will be really interesting because there are so many nuance and granular details that are given so much richness in the performance here. And in terms of performance, Koji Yakusho did win the award at the Cannes Film Festival, which is really interesting because you would think that that kind of performance would be very flamboyant and out there, but it's actually so low-key. In fact, he's practically like a monk. He barely says a word, but he conveys so much emotion and wisdom. In fact, the information we get about him is so sparse. We get these brief morsels of this upbringing that he had in the past, but it's left totally up to us to just figure out what that life could have been. But indeed, in all his actions, spoken and unspoken, there's this inner richness that is just so vibrant and powerful. Once again, this really is a very zen-like film. I think the best quote to take out from this film, without spoiling too much, of course, at one point, someone's talking about some future encounter they could have, and he says,
今度は今度。今は今。
That is such a beautiful and powerful message that really, I feel, encapsulates the core spirit of this film. Will this be everyone's cup of tea? Probably not. It's probably a little too mundane for a lot of people, but in my opinion, I think there's so much richness and beauty to be found within. Once again, I think rewatching this film will be very interesting to see all those little minute details that are hidden in the surface. And before closing out this review, I gotta admit, I've never been so fascinated by architectural designs of toilets. Oh my god. They're also uniquely crafted, and one toilet in particular, which has this see-through glass, but when you lock up the door, it becomes opaque, just blew my mind. I thought it was beautiful and kind of genius too. Yeah, I really do need to go to Japan one of these days. And before I forget another worthy detail, this film has so many memorable needle drops, such as the title of the film, which was clearly inspired by Lou Reed, may he rest in peace, and so many others, such as Patti Smith, which really stuck out. Of course, The House of the Rising Sun. I'll just leave it at that. It really does dive into these very nostalgic, old school, analog artifacts that are quite lovingly integrated, and ties in very nicely with the thematics and aesthetics of the film. And it's also one of these clues and hints that kind of help nourish these unspoken words of this inner richness, once again, of this character that we learned so very little. Those little artifacts of art, music, and literature as well. Him reading some William Faulkner, which really caught my eye, which reminds me that I really do want to read Absalom. In any case, I won't dive deeper into that. I just want to say that these are really nice touches that truly resonated with me personally. So I highly recommend this film. This totally earns its Oscar nomination for international film. Will it win it? Probably not. I think The Zone of Interest is probably going to take that one, but regardless, this film is a wonderful contemplative experience. I definitely think this is easily at least an 8.5 out of 10. I highly recommend you go check it out. And as for my part, I definitely do need to dive into Wim Wenders' filmography because he does seem like a singularly unique and talented individual. So with all that being said, as always, wishing you and your loved ones nothing but the best. Take care and talk to you very soon.